Today we will briefly look at our own suffering and how we can look at what is the cause of suffering. Today I will just share with you a little bit of my own experience. Um, I had on Friday, it was my birthday, and I had a lot of food to eat. I went and had lunch with Maithili. I had dinner with my friend from Mumbai, and my daughter had sent me a cake. So it was too much food, and I don't generally eat that much food. But the next day, I felt so heavy and so much of gluten, in my system. I felt so discomforted. It is not just that. I had such deep aversion towards any food, and I was so angry on Saturday. So I was really, the Friday was so beautiful because so many wishes and everything was there. But on Saturday, I was feeling very, very dull and angry. So I decided I'm going to sit down and think it through. And then it came to that, yeah, I had too much to eat. I had too much of foods that was not nourishing for me to eat. So I decided on Saturday I'm going to do one fasting. I'm not going to eat anything. But then by 1 o'clock, I was feeling so desperately hungry. So I decided to have a little bit of Horlicks, little bit of, a biscuit. So it was very, very uncomfortable for me. When I sat down to think it through, I came to that understanding that my suffering was due to mindless consumption. I was consuming mindlessly. Now, that is something that we all do, right? When we are supposed to have just two idlis or three idlis, we end up having four or five because we are probably hungry, but more than that, we are upset. So, in that, we end up eating a lot more or we end up not eating anything. So, this eating of the consumption of the food, why did I eat so much on Friday? Because I had a thought that this kind of cake my daughter had sent is not going to come again for another year. I don't know where we will be for another year. So I had a nice big piece of cake. What was the need for me to have that? It was me who was suffering. I could have given that to so many people who would have enjoyed it thoroughly, watchmen, my maid, my nurses. It was something that I consumed out of my own greed, my own thought, which was not nourishing. It is the thought that was not nourishing. That I will not get such a good cake for another year. What was I thinking? Why did I have to put that much negative stuff into my body and my mind? I don't know. But now I'm more aware, so I've intended to eat better. So everything, it was starting with my anger. I went back to understand it went to greed. So the journey, when I traced back, the source of my suffering was greed, or that wrong thought that I should eat something because it may not be available. So that really harmed me a lot over the weekend. The reason I'm sharing this story is if we are feeling upset and angry, go back and understand why that is happening. The reason I'm asking us to do this is we can help the children. The children may be angry, the children may be upset, the children may be overeating, which happens a lot, okay? The children overeat a lot. So, where does it come from? Are they afraid they're not going to get any more? Are they afraid that the food is going to be taken away and given to somebody else? There could be any number of reasons that this behavior, overeating, could be. And for any kind of emotional disturbance, there is always a source. Once we are able to deal with that, then the behavior changes. Right? So we'll continue this as we go along next week. I mean, tomorrow also. Shall we, any comment, anybody?
Ma'am, it's really nice what you shared. And in all aspects, if we connect this, I think it will be helpful. Not only eating, but everything. I mean, don't overdo it. There is a limit for everything.
Right.
Even if you are happy, I mean, don't be so overexcited. I have shared it to you once. My mother used to say, if you are sad, don't be in too much grief. I mean, it's a cycle. And whenever you are happy, don't get so excited and like that. So there should be a balance.
True. True.
Though
Same
I'm
thing with.
practice it.
So, the reason I'm bringing it out in the open is we have to all find a balance. No?
It's a very simple example, but very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And let's look at the suffering and the reason for suffering or the source of suffering in each of us as we go along. And the solution exists. There is nothing that cannot be cured, or there is nothing that cannot be healed. There is nothing that cannot be transformed. Everything is possible.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.